What if your ability to lead others had less to do with how agreeable or cooperative you are, and everything to do with how dangerous you can be? Not dangerous in the chaotic, violent, or unstable sense, but dangerous in the way a warrior monk is dangerous, disciplined, principled, and capable of great force when necessary. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, the clinical psychologist, professor, and best-selling author, has repeatedly emphasized this uncomfortable but transformative truth. You must develop your capacity for aggression, not suppress it. And he's right, because if you cannot be formidable, you cannot lead. If you cannot be forceful, you cannot defend what matters. And if you are unable to confront chaos, disorder, or evil, you will be ruled by those who can. This idea shocks many. We've been taught that aggression is inherently negative, synonymous with bullying, violence, or oppression. But that's a mistake, a profound misunderstanding of the nature of power and morality. In Peterson's philosophy, aggression is not to be feared or rejected, but harnessed and refined. It is an essential part of becoming someone who can lead others and protect them. In this breakdown, we explore one of Jordan B. Peterson's most crucial and controversial leadership lessons, the moral obligation to develop your capacity for aggression and force. To understand this, we must first examine how aggression has been culturally misrepresented. In modern discourse, especially in the West, aggression is often seen as a flaw, a relic of our evolutionary past. It's associated with dominance, war, abuse, all the things we want to transcend. So we suppress it, particularly in children, especially in boys. We train people to be harmless, to be agreeable, to never raise their voice, to always cooperate. But Peterson argues that aggression is not malevolent by nature. Aggression is energy, it's assertion, it's initiative, it's the power to say no and to defend boundaries. It's not the enemy of virtue, it's the enforcer of it. When someone violates what's right, it's aggression, not passivity, that stops them. Peterson uses a powerful metaphor here. Aggression is like fire. It can destroy if it's wild and uncontrolled. But it can also heat your home, cook your food, and keep you alive. Fire is neutral, its impact depends on the one who wields it. And the same is true for force. A leader who lacks the capacity for force is not safe, they are fragile. They are someone who will crumble under pressure or allow evil to persist because they are too afraid to confront it. And as Peterson famously says, if you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. Weakness is not innocence. Weakness leads to resentment, and resentment breeds cruelty. That's the paradox. Those who are incapable of aggression often become bitter, manipulative, or passive-aggressive. They don't protect others. They don't lead. They enable dysfunction and quietly fuel chaos. To become a powerful leader, then, you must develop what Jung called the shadow, the dark, repressed parts of your personality, including your aggression. Peterson draws heavily from Carl Jung's idea that the psyche is not wholly rational, not wholly good. There are parts of us we don't want to admit exist. Our anger, our envy, our capacity for dominance or violence. These elements, if denied, don't disappear. They fester. They manifest unconsciously in unhealthy ways. But if they are acknowledged and integrated, they become tools. They become strength. When you integrate your shadow, you don't become dangerous in a reckless way, you become dangerous in a responsible way. You're no longer ruled by fear or by other people's approval. You can say what needs to be said. You can do what needs to be done. Consider this. Even Jesus Christ, often portrayed as meek and mild, used force. He overturned the tables of the money changers in the temple. That was not weakness, it was righteous indignation. Controlled anger. He was not being nice. He was defending something sacred. And this, Peterson argues, is key. Even the highest ideal of love must include the capacity for force. Because what kind of love won't defend? What kind of love won't stand up to evil? Not real love, just weakness in disguise. This brings us to the next foundational point. Competence requires teeth. Leaders who are effective, who change organizations, families, societies, are not simply kind or diplomatic. They are powerful. They can say no. They can hold boundaries. They can issue consequences. And they don't flinch under pressure. A useful man, Peterson says, is not a nice man. A useful man has teeth. He can be aggressive when needed. He's competent, because he has the backbone to act when others freeze. This is why Peterson encourages young men, and increasingly, young women, to train their bodies, to get strong, to become physically competent. It's not about appearance. It's about signaling to yourself and to the world that you're capable. That you are someone who should be taken seriously. Confidence follows strength, and people trust those who are strong more than those who are merely pleasant. If you are capable of great force, but choose peace, that peace is respected. But if you are incapable of confrontation, your niceness is perceived as weakness, and it often is. It's also why Peterson emphasizes clear speech. Speaking precisely is a form of intellectual aggression. When you are vague, when you hedge your words, when you avoid direct language, you are protecting yourself from conflict. But you're also hiding. You are allowing falsehood to spread because you are unwilling to draw a line. Precise speech forces you to confront reality, and forces others to take you seriously. It is a weapon against confusion and manipulation. So when, then, is aggression justified? When should you use your force? Peterson offers a clear ethical framework, only in the service of what is good. Your aggression must be integrated, but it must also be constrained, by conscience, by logic, by truth. Aggression without order is tyranny. But order without aggression is impotence. Force becomes moral when it is used to defend the vulnerable, uphold truth, or confront injustice. Not recklessly, not reactively, but when reason demands it, and when all other peaceful means have been exhausted. This is where leadership becomes deeply difficult. Because it demands discernment. It demands that you know when to yield and when to strike. When to listen and when to draw your sword, metaphorically speaking. Peterson often uses the image of a lion. A lion is calm most of the time. But everyone in the jungle, gentle, but not weak. Peaceful, but not harmless. And that's the point. Harmlessness is not a virtue. Harmlessness is often just fear. Moral goodness requires that you be capable of harm, but choose not to. You must be able to confront, and even to destroy, when necessary. But you do so reluctantly, wisely, and only in defense of something higher. So how do you begin to cultivate this controlled aggression? Peterson offers several practical steps. First, train your body. Physical strength changes how you perceive yourself, and how others perceive you. Second, speak precisely. Don't hide behind vague language. Say what you mean, even if it provokes discomfort. Third, practice saying no. This is not hostility, it is the first step in establishing boundaries. Fourth, study warriors, not politicians. Learn from those who embodied force with principle, samurai, knights, disciplined soldiers. These are the true models of moral aggression. Fifth, meditate on death and evil. Understand that life is tragic, and that real darkness exists. Only then will you see the necessity of force. Leadership, in Peterson's framework, is not about pleasing others. It is about voluntarily confronting chaos on behalf of others. It's about being the one who sees the dragon and steps forward, not because you're fearless, but because you're prepared. Because you've built yourself into someone capable of battle, both internal and external. Jordan Peterson's message about aggression and force is not for the timid. It is for those who want to lead with integrity, who want to protect what is sacred, who want to stop being doormats and start becoming shields. You will not become a tyrant. You will become someone who can face tyrants. And that transformation begins when you stop pretending that weakness is a virtue. So the next time someone tells you to just be nice, ask yourself, is this situation calling for kindness, or courage? For surrender, or strength? The world doesn't need more agreeable people who avoid conflict. It needs disciplined warriors, people who are dangerous, and good, capable, and principled, people who lead not through intimidation, but through integrated force. As Jordan Peterson reminds us, a harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control. And that is what leadership demands in the real world, not harmlessness, but strength in service of what's right.